Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite online business podcast. If you are listening, tuning in, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, May 4th. Welcome to May, and happy belated Gotcha Day to my best guy, Rupee. I think he's somewhere in here. Can you see him, camera? Can you see him? He's sleeping right there. Always sleeping. I got him 2020, so 6 years ago, which makes him 7. I got him 2020, and right during COVID, and he is literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. So happy Gotcha Day, belated Gotcha Day. I got him on May 3rd. Happy belated Gotcha Day to my best friend. So today we are talking about AI and Instagram, largely inspired by some convos that I've been recently having. And this is one of the many reasons that I love having a podcast, because I get to share my thoughts unfiltered and uninterrupted. Not that those conversations were interrupted, but I get to just take all those things I've been thinking about and then just yap away. So speaking of, I will plug my own shit. If you want to start a podcast so that you can yap unabashedly, uninterrupted, and you know that you won't actually do the thing unless you put your money where your mouth is, and you also have someone holding your hand every step of the way, I'm going to drop the link to get on the waitlist for round 4 of Press Publish. For those of you who don't know, Press Publish is my 8-week, super small, like I capped that thing, it is super small, group coaching program that comes with a 100% guarantee that you will launch your podcast in 8 weeks. When am I running round 4? I don't know, actually. Probably late summer, early fall, so like September-ish. But we will link the interest list, wait list, whatever you want to call it, for that. This way, you're not obligated to sign up if you add yourself to it, but this way you know you won't miss out on the actual launch of it. So let's hop into the episode and talk about what I think AI is actually going to do to Instagram. So like I said, this episode was inspired by some conversations that I've been having recently with friends and fellow creators, and just people being like, yo, you're seeing like a million AI on Instagram. And it's like, yeah, you see the uptick in, especially in captions and carousels. And y'all know I am very much a fan of AI, not every aspect of it, but the technology itself. Yes. If you don't know, I have a whole ass second podcast called Prompting Curiosity. It is all about AI. We just hit episode 40. I think I just recorded episode 41. I also have a blog over there, a vlog over there, and a newsletter over there for it. So you can head to, and I built out a whole website for it. You can go to promptingcuriosity.com. You can check it out. We will link that. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Jojo. Also, thank you, Courtney and Jojo, for linking the interest list for Press Publish. But I say this to say, I am not some like anti-AI person, but I am also not approaching this prediction of what AI will do to Instagram as someone who is hugely bullish on AI. I have that whole other podcast because it allows for nuance, and I can really discuss things and get into it and get into the implications and ramifications of AI, and also the tech and how to use it. But I am, reasonable person. I am not anti-AI by any means. I am anti the Americanization of it and the Ford F-150ization of it, of just making it bigger for the sake of making it bigger. But I'm also not, I'm not anti-AI, but I'm also not someone who's like very bullish on it, meaning someone that's like, it's the best and we should always use it for everything. Like I'm neither of those. So my fundamental belief is that AI is great for behind the scenes tasks as it relates to your business, right? Redundant, repetitive tasks. I've built out an automation for my podcast, my other podcast. I am not at all a proponent for using it for client-facing tasks. I am not a fan at all of using it for creative tasks, where you just have it create something and generate something for you, right? AKA having it write for you. It's bad, it's tacky, and we can all tell. Stop doing it. I know that not everyone feels this way, clearly, as we are seeing the significant uptick in AI-generated content flooding Instagram, namely in the form of captions and carousels. Tacky, trending, incredibly easy to spot. So if you're doing this, let's knock it off, okay? Knock it off. I do understand the appeal, right? I get that it's content that gets made quickly, and realistically, you are better off just making nothing at all, right? Using AI for copy, it will erode trust, and that is something that you can't get back, right? So it's like, cool, I saved some time now with making content, and I lost clients forever. I lost prospective clients forever. So what do I think that AI will actually do to Instagram? I think it's going to drive up demand for human-generated content. Right? We know, I've spoken about this in a past episode, right? When there is a high supply or supply is high for something, and that supply gets forced on you and you don't like that supply, demand for something else, typically its opposite, increases rapidly. The speed and the volume with which AI generated content can be generated and posted means that we will see this backlash, this pendulum swinging back faster than with other trends. And another part of this, in my opinion, and why I believe that, AI will ultimately increase the demand for human generated content is that people inherently respect and value the time that it takes to create something, especially with the enshittification. Yes, I said enshittification. Go look it up, real word. The enshittification of everything. Right? Things are just being made so poorly. They're not built to last. And this is just across the board for everything. Right? So people are also that same pendulum swing, right? Of like supply for shitty, poorly made stuff going up. It's being pushed on us in every single way. And so our demand, our desire for the opposite, well-made stuff, goes up. And we're like, yeah, I will pay for a handcrafted this, that, or the other thing, this, something that time and effort went into. That relates to content as well, right? Why would folks want to give you their most valuable asset, their time, when you spent no time or effort creating that content? Right? And I am not saying that you need to spend 11 billion hours creating content in order for it to be consumed, right? In order for people to value it. And because the reality is people can tell and sense and feel effort, including if that effort is talent. And by talent, I mean that it's a skill that you have, refined over years and years and years. And this may manifest as an ability to tell a story in 90 seconds and hold your attention, right? And do it in one take, and it's super riveting. And you're like, man, I fucking love this. That's talent. The example, if you folks don't know who I'm talking about, Lee, what is Lee's last name? I don't remember, but she is Old Fashioned Hustle on Instagram. She's Leigh is her name, Lee. But her Instagram handle is Old Fashioned Hustle. Old Fashioned Hustle. Best storyteller I've ever come across in my whole life. And just dynamic and funny and riveting. And just like, she's just a look about her as well that it's just like very unique and different and appealing. Like she's just magnetic in general and just feels like a good person. Right. And I don't need her to have like cinematography and like cinematic visuals. It's just like, I just want the camera on you and tell me your story. Right. And that's effort. It takes effort to do that because clearly this person's been refining this skill for many years. So all that to say, again, reiterating the point that AI will ultimately increase the demand for human generated content on Instagram. Quick pseudo tangent here. If you're an online business and you're feeling some kind of way about Instagram right now, you're not alone, right? It is not the Instagram of the past. The algorithm pushes and prioritizes rage bait and bullshit. And perhaps more than that, if you, like me, are of a certain age, you're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Not that I don't give a fuck about anything. It's just like, I don't give a fuck about this trivial shit. Right? You go to post and you're like, who cares? I don't even care about this. Why am I posting about this? And then you're like, I don't want to deal with the nonsense that may come about because of this, like the comments that may come about. So you're like, I'm not going to post anything. All right, do people actually care about this? They need help with this? I get that. If that's you and you're feeling that, you're not alone. All right, the answer, in my opinion, to this, if you want to keep using Instagram because it's helpful for your business, is one, post when inspiration strikes. Do it in that moment. Do not wait. Do not save it and not be like, oh, I can maybe, do it later. Just do it then because that later is not going to come around. You're not going to want to do it later. You're not going to feel the same way about it. So just do it in the moment. And I've always said this and I will continue to say that. But especially if you're in that boat of like, fuck this, I don't even care. Number two, let your captions be simple. Right? I think people are kind of like overthinking it and they do the post and like, I gotta write this long ass captions. Let it be simple. And then number three, stay in your stories. It is the most genuine, most authentic, the most real. Just get in your stories and just talk. Right? So big thing here, what not to do. Do not go to Instagram. Do not take to Instagram to complain about how you hate Instagram. How would you feel if your favorite clothing company or some company you buy from was complaining about how much they hate having to market? It's weird behavior. Keep that in the group chat, right? Which brings me back to the main point, the main topic of what I think AI is going to actually do to Instagram, right? Like I said before, it is going to drive up demand for human-generated content. What that content actually looks like, I cannot say, right? But I do want to highlight that AI will not kill Instagram. It won't. Why? Because folks are on Instagram for escapism. They always have been, right? The desire is only going to continue to increase, sadly enough to say, as this administration, yes, this is political, absolutely. As this administration continues to make life worse for most people, as capitalism continues to make life worse for most people, people are going to continue to seek that dopamine hit. They're going to continue to seek escapism via Instagram, via social media. Why? Because it's right here in our fucking hand, right? Ideally, the solution for this looks like policy, better policy, and community, and going outside, right? But technology is here to stay, and the fact that we have that, dopamine box in our hand means it will always, likely be utilized to some extent. I use it, you use it, right? We're like, I'm just gonna go and just like get a dopamine hit and like go watch something that's fun. Additionally, if this is going to change, if policy is going to change, and we're going to get more community and like going outside, that's great. But also, changes do not happen overnight, right? They don't. And so, I'm not saying make your content optimized for escapism. I am just trying to make a point here that social media isn't going anywhere, despite or because of AI, right? It's not like, oh, AI is going to kill Instagram because like so much shit's going to be posted on it and people are going to stop using it. No. Like, it's going to make people be annoyed, but people are going to continue to like kind of check back in on it, and they're going to be seeking escapism created by humans, right? Whatever that escapism looks like. It can be, I watch a ton of DIY stuff on Instagram, a ton of DIY. That's escapism for them. Like, wow, people are building stuff. Like, could that lead to sales for them? Yeah, as they're teaching something, they have a book, something like that. Sure. Right, but I'm still on social media for sure. All right, so my suggestion, as per always, is to figure out what is sustainable for you and lean in. There's a very, real pull, I feel it too, between not wanting to post anything, needing to post about your business, wanting to post about how fucked up everything is, and also wanting to just share like cat videos. Lean in. Take a break from Instagram if you need. Take a break from posting if you need. Post about your business in a way that feels good. Use your voice and share how fucked up things are and solutions that you have. And then definitely share those cat videos and tag me because I love them. All right. So there you have it. My 2 pennies on what I think AI is going to do, which is actually going to do to Instagram. All right. It's going to drive up demand for human generated content. All right, this is not to say, I just want to put this caveat asterisk. This is not to say you can never use AI to help you with content in some way, right? Whether it's organizing your ideas or coming up with ideas, right? And I do think that there is ultimately going to become some level of acceptance regarding what is appropriate AI use. I think this will come likely as more consumers use it and they realize how helpful it is. And also as, more creators that are respected use it, and they use it in an honest and trustworthy way. I do think that I just want to put it out there. But ultimately, anything creative and client-facing that is delivered to your audience, without you doing it live, without you delivering it live, it should not be generated by AI, right? Just having it make a carousel for you, like, that's risky business, risky behavior. I would not do that. People can tell, right? If you want to have it come up with ideas and then you're writing it out and you're just organizing things for you, but it's still your voice, better. But I do think that carousels that are just pure text, I think that they are going to be on their way out just because people can't trust that it's not AI. They can read, they can tell, they can feel. So just the thought there. But the summary here is that AI will drive up demand for human-generated content. Your action items, my suggested action items for you, figure out how to show up in a way that feels good for you. Don't use Instagram to complain about Instagram, and lean into creating and generating your own content. All right. I'm going to wrap it up there. As always, I really appreciate you letting me yap. Like, I love being able to share my ideas in this way. Like I said, if you want help sharing your ideas via podcast format, get on the interest list. I'll either start the program probably late summer. September will probably be the best bet. But reach out if you have any questions. And as always, endlessly, one more time, endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.